Well, this video is definitely gonna get a little bit interesting because we're gonna be talking about what are my 3 favorite optics ready pistols. Now, anytime you do something like this, you get people that agree, people that disagree, people that you left out their favorite. So if you're one of those, you agree or you disagree, make sure at any time during the video you let me know, and of course let me know what your favorite is. So no giving anything away here. We're just gonna go through these one by one, not in any particular order, and start talking about what I feel are my top 3 optic ready pistols. And this could be for performance, the value, the overall feel of them, a lot of stuff that goes into this. And we're gonna keep this within the realm of reasonable price points. So we're not gonna be breaching into the Stickatos, the 2011s. We're gonna keep this in the modest men's category, which is under $1,000 for a good optics ready pistol. And before we get into these 3 pistols, a huge shout out to Hidden Hybrid Holsters, big supporter of the channel. They make those sweet hybrid Kydex and Amish leather backed holsters to fulfill all your needs, whether you're carrying the Striker polymer or that good old iron 1911 style stuff. Go ahead and check them out at hiddenhybridholsters.com. They got a really good array of options for you, whether you're carrying a wheel gun, semi-auto, pretty much everything. All right, so getting us started here in no particular order, like I said, is the Sig RX PX full size. So 3 big things here that are positives for me is the feel, the accuracy, and the overall performance of this thing. So when it comes to the feel, I love the way the X grip feels. I hate the way the regular P320 grip module feels. The regular P320 to me just feels like a stress ball in the hand. However, even though this X series grip has a finger groove, I like the texture. I like the way the groove actually pushes my finger up into that trigger guard. And overall, it is extremely natural and ergonomically correct, at least for me. And I know that's why a lot of people do like the Sig. Now, the performance of this thing is definitely on point. Performance and accuracy. It seems to, and I'm not saying this is a good thing, hide my deficiencies a little bit for me. And I don't know why that is, but it seems to be that I can slap the trigger a little bit harder. I can, maybe flinch a little bit, and I'm still just able to hit exactly what I'm aiming at and return to 0 with that Sig X series. I know some people are already mad that I started off with Sig. So let's roll right into number 2, and that is going to be the Shadow Systems DR920. Now this one specifically is the Warpoed edition, so it's got like a different label package and a different colored trigger, but ultimately it's the DR920. So it's the whole package, and that's kind of just the thing to say right up front on it. It's fast, it's extremely natural with a little bit better grip angle, and it takes Glock mags. So you can have your P mags, your factory Glock mags, and you get better angles with it. And you can run this thing super fast and super flat because it's got that bore axis that's really low that Glock is known for. It's a performance setup from the factory right out of the box. Another really cool thing about the DR920 is if you're running like a Safariland or a retention holster, even a lot of aftermarket Kydex holsters, that will fit in the equivalent Glock size holster. So I've run that from my Safariland stuff to some of my EDC holsters. And that's definitely nice because anytime you change over brands or anything, there's a lot of expense that goes into it. So that's a massive positive for that Shadow Systems. But moving on to number 3, and make sure you stick around because I'm gonna talk about one thing I would change on each of these here once we're done talking about the next one, which is gonna be the Walther PPS. So this is the new kid on the block, and it's just got a lot of stuff going on with this thing. One, the trigger. So Walther's had a really good reputation for putting out some of the best triggers in the striker fire game for the past several years, and they definitely did that with the PPS. They also have the new Pro version coming out, which is gonna give you the magwell, the performance trigger that they came out with, the threaded barrel, and some other options that are really nice. And they did redo the actual slide cut up there for the plates to give a lot of reference marks and stuff, so the plate will grab onto that slide, which a lot of people brought up when this thing first came out. Number 2 on this thing is gonna be the return to 0 is absolutely sick. So even though it's a higher bore axis and it's a little bit lighter than say like a Glock 17, the way that this thing just returns right down to 0 on that target is just absolutely sick. It's like nothing else I have. Glocks, I seem to have to force my hand back down to get that muzzle back where I want it. With the Sig, I got a little bit of work, but with the Walther, it seems to just go right back down exactly where you want to aim on that target. And finally, it's just the overall feel. It has to be one of the most natural feeling pistols that I own. The only thing that I can, kind of say that it's close to is the actual feel in the hand of the VP9. The difference is the Walther followed through with that feel on the range, where the VP9 kind of just left me wanting. I don't know what it is. I don't think it's any one thing. I think it has to do with the serrations. I think it has to do with the way they've designed the grip, with the little side swells right there, and just the overall angle of the grip itself, which just makes it super natural for me. Pressing it out, I'm just right where I want to be every single time. All right, so far in the video, who's with me and who's against me? Who did I miss and who is completely on board with at least one of these? Let me know in the comments. So moving into the one thing that I would change, and since it's right here, what is the one thing that I would change about the Walther, the PDP? Give me that flat performance trigger right out of the box. Instead of having to buy the Pro version or upgrade, give me that flat trigger, and I would say this thing would be the total package, maybe the magwell too, but that's asking a lot for the price point it was at. The flat trigger, I think, would really send this thing to the next level for an out-of-the-box pistol. Coming back to the big Sig RX PX right there, the one thing that I would change about this is the reset on the Sig triggers is not great. It feels flat. It just kind of happens, just like that. It's weird. I can't explain it. It's not very positive. It's not great. It happens. You can feel it. It's a little tactile. But I guess I'm so used to other striker-fired pistols that have that really positive reset that when I shoot the Sig, I just don't get the same feeling, and it kind of leaves me wondering, did the trigger reset? And finally, the shadow systems. And even though I said this thing was the full package, there is one thing I'd like to say because it came from some viewers. I would like to see a more robust attachment point for the magwell. I love this thing. It gives you everything you want for performance. It's a full custom setup right out of the box. It really is great. Now in the magwell, the way that this goes in, there's just a little eyelet on there. It's pretty thin. You push that in there and the pin goes through. A couple people have broken those and have got a hold of me and kind of showed me that. And that can be an issue. And I'd like to see that maybe a little bit more robust, because this is technically the most expensive one of the group, even though the Sig was more expensive because it came with the Optic. This one did come with the Optic. When you strip the optics off both of them, I think the shadow system is slightly more expensive than the RX PX, at least the last that I looked, but it's really all over the place with prices. So don't quote me on that. You'd have to do your own research. But overall, that is the one thing I would like to see out of the shadow systems being changed. All right, so I know I left somebody's favorite out there, and I'm probably pretty sure you guys are surprised I didn't put like the M&P 2.0 or the Glock in there. Well, in all reality, the DR is kind of a Glock, just a little bit better angles and some options. And I know somebody I left out there, their favorite pistol, it was like the Masada or something. They're going crazy in the comments right now. So if that's you, hit the thumbs down button 6 times and you'll get a special prize. And again, just taking everything into account on all the pistols I've been able to try over the past several years and really my whole life, now that the optics game has been really strong, from CZ to Sig to Glock to custom stuff, M&Ps, Walther, everybody's got the optic ready stuff out there now. Let me know what your favorite is and let me know why, because everybody has little specific reasons on why they like what they do, and then some people just like what they have because it was kind of a default. And I kind of feel that's where Glock is. It seems like a default brand for a lot of people out there. And there's nothing wrong with that. If it works for you, you keep going on with your bad self. All right, that is what I've got for you all today. Make sure you check out the blog post. All the links for everything I do is there. You can use any of those links if you want to help out the channel. You can check out the Patreon as well. And coming up, I've got a whole bunch more pistol stuff. I think I've got the XR from Shadow Systems on the way in. I got a couple of the new Mossberg pistols, kind of more budget-friendly stuff. And then I've got those builds coming for the rifles, which are definitely going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you get subscribed, give the video a like if you're into it, and of course, share this with a friend, because sharing is caring. Staring at all 3 of those things makes me wish I had 3 hands. You guys get out there on the range and have some fun. Remember, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. I will see you guys on the next one.